Welcome back to Sarita's garden. Today is March 1st. We are in our second batch of cassava or yuca planting, and so I just wanted to talk about this area that's in progress. I just used the weed trimmer here to clear out some more spaces on the area that Brad had already started. This doesn't look like much, but I just wanted to give a description of what we're doing to how we're preparing. Okay, so here we are on the south side of the pool, and we still have one cassava plant right here. You can see those leaves up top, and there's where the roots would be down below. So we're moving into areas that are not where we previously had cassava growing, and in the areas where we did have cassava growing this past year, we're going to plant a combination of sun hemp, jack bean, and we may also put some pigeon pea over here just to refix some nitrogen into the soil after that yuca was growing for about a year. So we have this long spot. I don't know how big this long area is, but this is south facing, and the cassava we planted here last year did really well, and it was all basically kind of up there on that row. So we've moved down a couple feet to the next row down where this will not have any standing water. Over there next to the fence, that's where we get standing water. So we need to be very mindful to not plant any cassava where there will be any chance of standing water whatsoever. Okay, so like I said, we use the weed trimmer because this kind of weedy grass, and I don't know what that weed is that is in there, but it is a bear to get out. And cassava really like it if you clear the area and kind of loosen up the soil. So again, we used the weed trimmer first to get as much of the grass away as we could. Then we used the pickaxe and dug up the soil and then pulled out all of the grass weeds, which is this big pile of stuff here. And there's another pile down there. So anyway, and then there's another weed there. I do believe that's from the calendula. The calendula is that big, tall, green, kind of very commonly overly used landscape hedge plant, non-native. So you can see a stick here. So this is one of the sticks that I saved in the shed. This is Shan's yellow variety. And I did mark my sticks with the variety name, SY for Shan's yellow, and the arrow up so that I know which direction to have pointing up out of the soil. That's important. And I've just laid them out here. Then I have two plants that I saved cuttings in pots. So if any of you watched my video, I did 3 methods this past year of saving cassava propagation material. And so the ones I just showed you were ones that were in the shed. Then I put some into soil in pots, which as you can see, they started to grow in the pot. And then I put also some buried in the ground, which that was not a great result. You can see right here in the divot, that's where the buried cassava was, if you've seen that video from me last year. What happened to the ones that I buried in the ground, it could be a variety of factors, but one, it was south facing, so probably not awesome to have full sun on it. They all started to grow from underneath in that pit, and a friend of ours, a gardening friend of ours, thinks that those sticks may not ever produce roots because they sort of like started to grow, and then now those roots have broken off. So but I actually decided I'm gonna plant some of them and just see. Let's just see what happens. Let's test it and see. But I'm not relying on those sticks that were buried underground in the sand to be our major source. So these are the 2 pots. I did label them. This one is a variety called Montega, which actually is another yellow variety that we got from Cody Co Farms. We had it planted up in the northeast. That plant has really not done well, but it got blown over in the tornado and the sticks got severed. So I saved the stick, I put it in soil, and look at that, it's regrowing. So we'll see. I'm not sure if this one will be a strong plant, but we're gonna give it a shot. This variety here is also Shan's yellow, the one I showed you the stick of before, but this one I had saved in the pot in soil, and so you can see how it regrew over the past, I don't know, I'm gonna guess that was like 3 months. And so I like that method of saving them in pots. You know, if you've got enough soil in pots to save them and keep them protected if there's any cold weather through January, February, you could bring them inside or put them in the shed. We didn't do either. They seem to be just fine in our cold weather. Another stick that's Shan's yellow, and another stick there. So that's 6. 1, 2, yeah, 4 sticks, 2 pots. So next thing I'm gonna do is go and grab some mulch, bring it over and spread a layer across all of it and make sure that these now stay watered. So again, this is our second planting of cassava. I'm gonna take you around to the front and I'm gonna show you the first planting of cassava. Let's go. Okay, here I am up at the north fence. This is on the east side of our property, to the east of the driveway and the house. And so this is an area that Brad worked on. He worked so hard. He cleared all the grass and the weeds and did all the pickaxing and left me a nice row of sand to plant in. Now, this is a very unexciting thing to look at through video because everything is brown. But let's just take a look here. So you can see that I put these sticks in diagonals. I do have a map that I wrote in paper in my notebook of which varieties were which, because in this row I am testing some of the varieties that I had the propagation material buried underground. So as I explained to you on the other area, we did the same thing here. We used the weed eater to clear down to the sand. Then we pickaxed, and in this area we actually built up the sand a little bit, so there's a little trough running down from each side. And we didn't need to do that by the pool because that's already elevated, but this area could get wet, so we just always elevate a little bit because we do get standing water, and that is not a friend of cassava. Okay, so there's the second stick, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And then I just wanted to mention, in this area, this is the north, and we can get some pretty stiff winds from the north at times. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna build some kind of a trellis type structure. We're not sure if we're gonna use bamboo, PVC, wire, but basically we're gonna build a structure that will run through at 1 or 2 different heights of the cassava to tie it in place. And we'll hope that that will help. Because on our property, some of the challenges we have with cassava is that we do get a lot of standing water, just like twice a year, and it could be for 3 to 7 days. So that is not a friend of cassava, but the wind is one thing we can manage for. So cassava needs full sun, cassava needs high and dry. It does not like the wind, but you can try and tie it up. So that's what we're gonna try. And I'll keep you posted and let you know how that works out. Thanks for watching. See you next time.